This is Iron Mile.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Look at Sawhill. Look. Look at her face. It's nap time, you can tell.
I just finished my, 5 sets of squat cleans and jerk. And now it's nap time for the girls. Go lay them down and then come back and hit some muscle clean and press. Girl, let's go. Give me your hand. Time to go night-night. Aye, aye, aye. Let's go. Let's go. Show you guys what this is like. Violet. It's like this. Violet, please come here. Piper, please come here. Go to the office. You saying bye to everybody? Yeah. Say bye. Bye. Like my shirt? Look at that. Same. Yeah, we got walking through the office area into my actual office, which doubles as a studio, which doubles as a nap room.
Wash me.
Thanks.
I need a blanket.
You need a blanket?
Yeah.
You don't ever get a blanket in here. It's warm.
This.
Well done. So I just put those girls to bed. As midway through my workout, they'll buy me an extra hour to do some cleans, and then they'll wake up and they'll be hungry about the same time I am. One of them had to wake up and go to the potty, so kind of threw off the whole nap schedule. So back out. Now I'm mid some muscle cleans, some strength work, but go right back at it. This is kind of normal for me about this time. These girls always have to take a nap, and I've always got to train. So.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, for you, for you, for you, for you.
So IG here, what does it say? All right. So we posted a question about an hour ago and got six questions here. Becoming Attila, kind of a cool Instagram name. Hey Ben, what type of workout do you recommend if I'm needing to drop 40 to 50 pounds? Would you do steady cardio AM and class PM? I mean, honestly, the answer would be yeah. I would recommend doing as much work as you can. There's a lot of people who are more qualified to answer this question than me, but when I look at fitness and nutrition, you have two different options, right? You can have a nutritional approach that overwhelms your fitness level. So if you have a very low fitness level, you have to have a very aggressive nutritional approach, right? But if you have a fitness level, then you can have like an aggressive fitness level, then you can have a less aggressive nutritional approach. But if you need to drop 40 to 50 pounds, you're gonna kind of have to blend both those worlds, right? You're gonna have to take an aggressive nutritional approach and an aggressive fitness approach. Double days are going to be important. When you're 40 to 50 pounds overweight, that's harder on your joints, it's harder on your heart, it's harder on, you know, all the systems in the body. We're just not designed to be that much heavier. Great question, and I think it's coming from a good place. It's just understanding what you need to do to get there. It's going to be both. It's going to be really trying to make sure that you adopt a diet strategy that works for you, and then a fitness strategy that works for you as well. Sophie Fowler asked me, how many burpees did you do to get better at burpees over the last year? I don't want to say I'm a larger athlete, but for competitive CrossFit, I'm on the higher side for sure. And then engine stuff is not typically my jam. So it took a lot of work to get better at burpees. I was doing burpee warm-ups. I mean, this is not an exaggeration, 3 to 4 times a week, and then burpee workouts another 3 to 4 times a week. So I was logging, you know, somewhere between 500 to 700 burpees depending on the week. I had many workouts where I would get close to 300 burpees. I've done 15 burpees a minute for 15 minutes before, and that's 225. So that's just like one example of a workout that I would do. I really like to mix them up in EMOMs, because then by the time you're done with that one 15-minute workout, you've got a bunch of burpees under your belt, and you know, it's just better. But it's not just the burpees, right? It's every variation of the burpee. It's a bar-facing burpee, burpee box jump over, you know, burpee pull-up, you know, all those different things you do, burpee muscle-ups, anything you can do to try to make the burpee better. But then also the other thing I realized is Margot Alvarez at 321Go on Instagram told me one time, she said, rowing's supposed to hurt. And what I realized was burpees are supposed to hurt. So rather than running from the pain, I started learning how to embrace the pain in the burpee rather than trying to run from it. That's really how I got better at burpees. Hey Ben, what inspires to continue training as hard as you do? Do you still have short and long-term goals? Yeah, that's a good question. That question comes from Scrage7, Sam Crage. Seems like a good dude, but the question was like, what do I do to keep training hard, you know, and maintaining those short and long-term goals? And I just had this conversation with one of my coaches, and he just said, you know, part of what fuels you, and he's watching me work out, is the idea that I've had a lot of success in CrossFit, and so sometimes success can really spur you on. And I don't think I'm not successful in CrossFit, but in competitive CrossFit, I don't really see myself as a successful athlete. I'm still reaching for my goal, and my goal is to make the CrossFit Games and be one of the top 50 fittest men on the planet. At 34 years old, that window's starting to close. So in the last 5 years, you know, the half a decade that I've been competing in CrossFit, I've made it to regionals, and it's a very hard thing to do. You know, you're already one of 660 athletes out of 400,000 people. So it's a very small group, 0.015% or something like that, 0.0015%. But I think of myself more as a failure in the area of competitive CrossFit, and so that's almost what spurs my training. So not a failure in a strict sense, you know, you're not a failure if you keep showing up, never that, but I'm just still somebody who's more hungry to still reach my goal. So haven't reached my goals yet, haven't become the athlete I want to become yet, and I think the only way I'm going to get there is if I continue to push. And so that's what keeps me going. I have a few other things going on, kids running around, you know, we're sitting in the middle of a business right now, and a few other things that make things just a little more difficult. But for the most part, on the competitive side, I still am reaching and trying to get better, just like I am on the family side and just like I am on the business side. I need coffee. I need a cup per kid, so I'm only on 2 cups today, so I need 2 more. So, just finished lunch, getting back some text messages and some things like that. I put on my 4th pair of shoes for the day, 4th different pair, so flip-flops, lifters, with my nanos over there. So that's kind of indicative of all the different hats I've been wearing today. So we're gonna wrap things up here at the gym, put away all our weights, and then I've got to run over and I've got to meet over at the new location in East Sac. So we're gonna go over there and just check out the progress. Is basically what we're doing. Shake a few hands, just say hello, make sure that we're staying in contact with those guys. I've got another project to do where we're gonna put up a nice little poster at that location so people can kind of see that we're coming. And just that kind of melding of the 2 brands of Ultimate Fitness, Uriah Faber's gym, and Iron Mile Fitness, my training program. Okay, are you going to Woodland tonight? Okay. All right. So classes and instruction make CrossFit kind of like a difficult market sometimes, because your price point is $100 to $150, maybe $200 a month for a membership, and like your typical, you know, 20 to 25-year-old isn't really in the market for that yet, you know, and so you end up marketing to more like the 35 to 50-year-old category, but then you're marketing a pretty aggressive style of fitness that can sometimes run into like having stigmas attached, right? But the reality is, it's like it's the best form of fitness, right? Hands down. Like there is really no other fitness program out there, you know. Functional movements performed at high intensity, right? That's the way to go. And add some variation in there so that the body continue to have to adapt. You know, it really sets people up for a better life. You know, they train for life. They're able to overcome things, whether it be as a mom or as a, you know, CEO of a company or a chiropractor or, you know, anything, you know, teacher, police officer, fireman, you know, and then all the way up to the elite level athlete. So a fitness program should be universally scalable, right? Which means it can go all the way down, and you've seen my kids doing it, you know, and all the way up, you know, because then you have, you know, the nursing home people do it, right? And it's still important for somebody in a nursing home to be able to stand up and sit down properly. It's still important for them to be able to pick something up or put something overhead, you know? So. Since we both work really hard, we tend to work until about 8 p.m. every single night, you know, and whether it be with the kids, and I consider working with the kids, like, it's not always work, you know, kids is not always work. When you have 4 of them and you're trying to get dinner together or get them, you know, back to the house or get them ready for bed, right? It's stress, right? It's still stress or work on the body. So we end up working till 8 o'clock at night or so, and then we try to start developing a downtime routine with the kids and whatnot, and our kids don't go to bed till 9 or 10, and then, you know, Steph and I usually have a couple hours to ourselves, and we watch, you know, a show or two most nights and drink tea and hang out. And really our downtime, we, you know, like during the week, is stuff like that. Basically just binge on shows until we're done with them, and then when they get a new season, we'll catch back up. And so we've got like 5 or 6 revolving shows right now. But we've always had that kind of thing going on. And then if we get away, you know, we like to go out to dinner. You know, my wife really appreciates a good dinner. We don't have a lot of time for recreation. With as competitive as my CrossFit career has been, we've actually kind of sacrificed some of that, and that's part of the reason why this year might be, you know, my last time really trying to focus on individual competition, more or less trying to move towards a team aspect, or even, you know, the Masters at 35 years old will still be pretty competitive, but really kind of dial back my own personal volume as far as working out in the gym, so that way, you know, sure, my fitness will dip a little bit, but my experience with my kids and my wife and my life will go up.
Yeah. Nope, we're on the park down here. Park even better.
That last rack we did this week, that'll be in. I think this will be set up. I don't care about whether we're able to run a class out of here or not. We need to have this thing look like
So people walk in.
People walk in, it's like, I mean, no, it's gonna all happen real quick.
So you come down.
This is my office, riser room, unisex bathroom.
Anyway, we're really excited about it. Now, it's a big project, it's a big undertaking, but we're stoked about it. It's really exciting for me to be like in collaboration with somebody like Uriah. You know, we have a podcast out on Beyond the Barbell, and where we interview Uriah, Blair Morrison, and myself. And so people can kind of, you know, recount that story about how Uriah and I have gotten along and how we formed a relationship for a long time. But, you know, 6 years ago, Corbin was born. That's my youngest son. And, you know, when he was born, I was still doing MMA. And for him, it was a big deal to actually come out and have dinner with us and meet my son. And so at the time, we lived in Woodland. So, you know, Uriah drove, what, 30 minutes out of the way to come have dinner with my wife and I. And just shows a lot about who he is as a person and the way he values relationships. And it's cool because I've kind of taken that same type of mentality towards what I do and trying to maintain good relationships and build community, and really taken, you know, a page out of his playbook in a sense, because it's just a good way to be, you know, and when it's genuine and it comes from the heart, it's even better. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I got to get back inside, get back to coaching, training, doing everything, but appreciate you guys joining me today, seeing what it's like. And go follow me on Instagram at IronMileBen, that's with an underscore. So check it out and look for more YouTube videos coming up shortly.